before. We respect the scholarship, but respect the information. But we're going to let Hassad, a lot of people respect Hassad's information. We're going to let Hassad tell you.
Yes. But when I say y'all, I'm talking about Hebrew Israelites. A lot of y'all are just like Christians in that you read scriptures out of context. This is a sidebar. Scriptures like Jeremiah 14:2, Judah mourneth, the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is gone up, has absolutely zero to do with the color of the Jews. Sorry, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry at all. That verse is, I only bring that up not to diss other brothers who use that verse, but to illustrate how there's, and we don't, brothers don't do it as bad as Christians do, but you shouldn't be doing it at all. You cannot read a verse out of its context. Jeremiah 14:2 has nothing to do with the color of the Jews. It has everything to do with the gates of Jerusalem being black unto the ground. Why are they black unto the ground? Because they got burned.
And that's just reading comprehension. Judah mourneth, the gates thereof are languished. They are black unto the ground. The last noun there was the gates.
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Racha HaKwadash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone. Honors as well to you brethren, you fellow believers, laborers of this faith. And from time to time I'll say shalom to you, sincere sisters, and also shalom to the elect. So this is a raw video I didn't even really get a chance to put together, but I see that Hassad, the brother Hassad, I'll still call him by his title, we kind of knew that when he branched off, I don't know if Sakari teaches that still or whatever, we've even evolved from certain characteristics of the doctrine, things that were written in the doctrine. Jeremiah, John 14:2 says, when the Spirit of truth is come, he will guide you into all truth. So I remember all the Israelites was teaching that his face shall not be ashamed, nor face wax pale, and surely your fathers inherited lies. As we grow, we evolve in the truth. And that's why he said you shall grow into the truth. Now, the reason why we're zealous on the black thing, because when you look at the time of slavery, when you look at how they rewrote history and took all the so-called black images out of the way, and it's a shame that they even called them black. Even in slavery they called us colored, right? They called us colored. They didn't even say black, right? Eventually it's black, but when you look at black, it had such a negative stereotype that it didn't look good on our behalf. So all these years they was calling us black. We sign applications, you see black. What's your nationality? Black, right? Black, African American. So you fed that to us. So then when we see black in the Bible, we say, uh-oh, this is us. But then you find out that the children of Israel are so-called black. Then you do nose dives and turns and angles to try to kind of take that away. Even in this verse, we understand that, but we're going to go into the lesson a little more, because when you really think about it, the scriptures never really had to say black if everybody was all so-called black. Even they gave us black Hebrew Israelite, if you think about it. But all the years that black was used negatively towards us and how it destroyed us and made us less of a people, then we see black in the Bible. Then you come out with your truth and say, that's not what that means. You see how evil and corrupt Edom is, man? And white Christians along with so-called black supporters. Right? You see how evil that is? It was all good when that word black is used in negativity. But when we use the word black in something positive, there you go. Right? So anyway, that's what it is. We're going to go to Jeremiah 14:2. Judah mourneth, the gates of language, they are black unto the ground. I'm going to read a little commentary. The inhabitants of Judah, the gates of they're black unto the ground, meaning the inhabitants of the cities, those that sit at the gates, the faces are black through famine. And this is what the commentaries say. Their faces are black through famine. Okay? And we read all the commentation, they say that. The gates are languished, they are black. Right? You see that in the scriptures it says they cry up at the chief gates. Right? So when you go to, let's go to the precept to this, which is Job 30, right? And this is what it says. See, they did a lot trying to hide the truth from us. They did an awful lot doing that. And then when the Bible Destruction Group and the Reformationists and so forth and so on, they removed things out of the Bible that had anything to do with so-called rebellion or us finding out who we are. The biggest lie that was told, right, is to say that those people over there in that land are the real people according to the Bible, although some of our people are there. And if that is the case, they would look like multitudes, nations, kindreds, and peoples and tongues as Christians pull out in Revelation 7 and 9. So why isn't that the case? Yeah, you see other nations over there, but the head nation that's running that is looking like one particular group. So we know that has to be a lie. And everybody should know, even white people come up to us at camp, so-called white, because nobody's white, they come up to us and tell us, yeah, we know the Jews was black. We know Jesus was black. So what's the argument if we say, okay, the Jews was black, and even though we may have misinterpreted Jeremiah 14 and 2? What's the problem? Let's go to Jeremiah 30 and 30. And it is not about misinterpreting it. I understand that. But there's too much evidence, right? Jeremiah 30 and 30. It says, my skin is black upon me. My bones are burned with heat. Now, why is this relevant? Now, this is used for our learning today. But why is this relevant? Because at that time, it was well known that if you think about it, it was well known that the Israelites were so-called black. So why would they have to write in there, oh, the Israelites are black? If everybody, the only way they would have to write something like that, if everybody pretty much looked white, right? To say, the Israelites are black and probably lie. But when you get to the significant looks of how people look because of certain things, right? You can see then what happens, right? Through famine, through plagues, and how when you look at those people over in Africa and various places, when they get, or if someone gets sick, a so-called black person gets sick, you'll see them get darker, right? They'll get darker, they'll get ashier looking, right? Most people who are sick may have a blood disease, liver disease, kidney disease. They get darker because their bodies are robbed from nutrients, right? It says, my skin is black upon me, right? Now we go back to Jeremiah 14 and 2. Maybe we'll go to Lamentation. There's one I had up, Lamentation 4 and 8. 4 and 8. Their visage is blacker than coal. They are not known in the streets. Their skin cleaved to their bones. If withered, it becomes like a stick. So it's definitely describing something. Let me go here. Let me go here and take a look. Like I said, I didn't plan for this. Let's go back to Jeremiah 14, I think. Let's go back to Jeremiah 14. Jeremiah 14 and 2. And let's keep reading on. Jeremiah 14 and 2. My skin is black. No. Judah mourning the gates of language. It goes on to explain what's going on, right? The hope of Israel. Let's go to 16. And the people to whom they prophesy shall be cast out in the streets of Jerusalem, because of the famine and the sword, and they shall have none to bury them, their wives, nor their sons, nor their daughters, for I will pour their wickedness upon them. Right? So basically, when you read this, this is going into the suffering. And that's why you can relate this to the book of Lamentations, lamenting drought, famine, sword, and pestilence. This is what this is going into, right? That's exactly what that's going into. Let me go on to Hebrews 7 and 14. For it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah. So everybody has an issue also with saying that God loves all, it doesn't matter. The vocab and Dr. Brown, they was going into that. But they'll say it doesn't matter, color doesn't matter, it doesn't matter this, matter that. But then they'll come up and say, well, they look olive complected, which olive is red, green, or black. And I've never seen a green person, right? And our people can look olive complected too. Why does this matter? Well, today, our people look like them. Our people look like all nations. So it's not about a skin color thing, so to speak, right? So this guy Hassad, this brother Hassad, he wants to be the new oracle, so to speak, the anointed one, to come up with all the good, cool translations and be deep. When he heard us go over this, you know what I'm saying? A lot of us don't touch on that like that, but he heard us go over that. So let's go to Revelation. Let's look up the word. Let's look up the word black. Surprisingly, they did kind of change that up a little bit. But first, let's go back to Lamentations 4, and then we're going to get the word black in the online etymology, right? And see what they do. Even the online etymology had to change it up. The word was so stigmatized and it had so much negative, effects on when it comes to so-called black people that they're sweeping it under the rug. What did this word black do to us? And they even have the nerve to call us black Hebrew Israelites. But then when we go in the Bible and pull out the word black, then all of a sudden it doesn't mean black. But as long as if the Bible said you Negroes are black, you're the children of Cain, and you're going to be servants and slaves for us forever, then you would accept that word black, and that's been pushed through Christianity. They even got rid of the so-called black image and put up the white image. Anyway, Lamentations 4 and 8. Their visage is blacker than coal. Right? Now we could say that's going into their look, or so to speak, or their mindset, or their sufferings. Right? But as we said before, when you go through a famine, the visage goes to what? Let's look up this. Their visage is blacker than coal, and are not known in the streets. Their skin cleave to their bones. It is withering and become like a stick. Right? So let's go to the Hebrew. Let's go to the lexicon. Their appearance is blacker. That visage means their appearance is black, and it means to be or grow dark. Right? How do you grow dark? I've never seen a white person grow black. My skin is black unto the ground in Job 30. Show me one white person that turned black. But you know what they say in their commentaries? Oh, they were scabs. You see what they will do to try to change the narrative and try to make themselves fit the people of God, of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua? You can't get around it, right? Their visions grow dark. Now they'll say it's their mindset, but all the years with that word black, it's all accepted in a negative sense. But when it comes even to this negativity, proving that it's us, they kind of switch that up, don't they? We know what they do. Very slick. So let's go back to, was it Lamentations? My skin is blacker than coal, or soot, blacker than coal. Let's go back and read the translation again. My skin is blacker than coal. Lamentations 4 and 8. Their visage is blacker than coal. Right? So let's go to this word black. In the online etymology, it says absolutely dark, absorbing all light, right? of color soot or coal, right? Burned, dark, black, which we know means void of light. To burn, to gleam, to shine, to flash. So now this is what the definition of the word black means. And there's different parts: to burn, to scorch, to blaze and glow, to burn, to shine, to flash. Yeah, they managed to put like 30 different definitions of the word black in here now. Meaning dark-skinned person, African. We're going to show you something real quick. We're going to go into the online. I did this maybe a year or two ago, right? We're going to go into, we're going to go into the online, not the online etymology, the blue letter. We're going to go into the blue letter. Let's see what the blue letter says. All right, and then if that doesn't prove it, then, what else can we say? Bear with me for a second. We're going to read this real quick. So we don't really got to go into Jeremiah 14:2 and so forth and so on. I was going to go to Revelation 1, but I'm just, who knows? And Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, saw it. He rose up among the congregation and took a javelin in his hand. And you know the story. He killed one of the Israelites in the tent that was laying with the heathen, not because just the heathen, is because it was following the practices of the heathen, going through the rituals. So we're going to go into that word, Phinehas 8:63-72, right? It says, Phinehas, mouth of brass, son of Eleazar, grandson of Aaron, his zealousness. So Phinehas means the mouth of brass, right? And we go into Revelation 1. We're going to go there in a second. And then we go on down here to the Strong's 8:63-72. It says the Negro, right? And when you go into the other sources of text, other dictionaries, those high valued, so to speak, dictionaries, those top guys, those top scholars, they call him the mouth of brass, the Egyptian black Nubian Negro. They actually say that. Let me look that up real quick. I'm not going to keep saying things without going to the source. Mouth of brass. I'm trying to find out what dictionary said that. So it's well known now. Phinehas meaning spiritual pride. Yeah, they cut it out of here. Let's see if we could find it in the true dictionary. We're going to go here to Bible hermeneutics, right? It says, what does Phinehas mean in the Hebrew, Egyptian? It is the Nubian name in Hebrew, how to translate brass, copper, mouth, Semek, or Shin, right? Does his name translate? It says to the Negro black Nubian, which itself opens up a whole lot of questions. So they ask that question, and they're going to try to clean it up. But all through the sources, it does say that Negro or Nubian. There you have it, right? So we don't need Jeremiah 14:2 to prove the Jews were black, so-called black. Revelation 1:14, it says, his head and his hairs were white, likened unto wool. When you look at the old translations, the Christians will say, well, they change it up. They're going to metaphorical, then they're going to physical. It says his head and his hairs were white, likened unto wool, is white, likened unto snow. That's what it originally said, right? His eyes were as likened unto a flame of fire, meaning his hair wasn't actually the wool, it wasn't actually the snow, and it wasn't actually the fire, right? And his feet likened unto fine brass, meaning it wasn't fine brass. Fine brass when you renew fine brass, it becomes darker anyway. Fine brass is not the bright brass that you see, right? As it burned past in the furnace. When you go into the old translations, Textus Receptus, receive text, in the Wycliffe, it says his feet was like unto lantern in a burnage chimney, a burnt chimney. That's what it actually says. So we don't need Jeremiah 14:2 to prove it. According to the truth, yeah, we'll accept, what Jeremiah 14:2 actually says, but we don't need it. Why? At this point, we don't even need to tell you the Jews were so-called black. The Jews today look like all different nations. We have to tell you that because of the lies of the Renaissance. If it wasn't for your wicked-ass Renaissance, we wouldn't be chasing this so-called black thing. You know what I'm saying? You lied. You the one destroyed us with those false images and false history and false made-up, inflated lies. So now we're coming to clean it up. Anyway, that's all I have on that. Shalom.